Most self-improvement advice is slowly destroying you. Here's how to tell the difference between growth and glorified self-punishment. Welcome to PsycheCraft. Today I'm exposing something the self-improvement industry doesn't want you to see. How discipline becomes compulsion, how high standards mask self-hatred, and how optimization prevents you from actually living your life. 1. When discipline becomes compulsion. You wake up at 5 a.m. not because it serves you, but because you've convinced yourself that sleeping until 6 means you're weak. You can't skip a workout without spiraling into self-criticism. You feel guilty eating food you enjoy because it's not optimized. This isn't discipline. It's compulsive behavior with good PR. Real discipline, as the Stoics understood it, is choosing action aligned with your values. Compulsion is needing to perform behaviors to avoid the anxiety of not performing them. If you removed the guilt and self-judgment, would you still do these things? If the answer is no, you're not being disciplined. You're managing internal punishment through external control. Epictetus taught, make the best use of what is in your power. He didn't say, punish yourself into productivity. The Stoics lived according to nature, which includes rest, limitation, and human imperfection. Modern self-improvement culture has convinced you that your natural state is inadequate and needs constant correction. Here's the test. Can you rest without guilt? Can you enjoy leisure without feeling like you're wasting time? If rest feels like moral failure, you've crossed from healthy practice into disordered behavior. 2. High standards versus self-hatred. Let me ask you something uncomfortable. Are your high standards actually standards, or are they the voice of someone who fundamentally believes they're not good enough? There's a difference. Standards say, I choose to do quality work because I value excellence. Self-hatred says, if I'm not exceptional, I'm worthless. Standards allow for human error and growth. Self-hatred treats mistakes as evidence of fundamental inadequacy. Standards evaluate your work. Self-hatred evaluates your worth. The language reveals the difference. Do you think, I could improve this? Or, I'm terrible at everything? Do you say, that didn't work, let me try differently? Or, I always mess things up? Marcus Aurelius, who had actual high standards as an emperor, wrote, be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. But he also wrote, confine yourself to the present. Not punish yourself for past failures or obsess over future perfection. Present, right now. What's needed in this moment? Your so-called high standards might actually be perfectionism, the belief that anything less than flawless is failure. And perfectionism, according to decades of psychological research, is strongly correlated with depression, anxiety, and even suicidal ideation. It's not a virtue, it's a mental health symptom masquerading as ambition. 3. How optimization prevents living. You're tracking everything. Sleep quality, water intake, productivity metrics, optimal schedules, peak performance windows. You've turned your life into a data set that needs constant analysis and improvement. But when was the last time you did something just because it felt good? When did you last have a conversation without thinking about how it could be more efficient? When did you enjoy a meal without calculating its macros or feeling guilty about its impact on your goals? You're optimizing yourself out of actually living. The Stoics talked about living according to nature. That doesn't mean be your best self or maximize your potential. It means recognizing that humans are finite, imperfect, mortal beings who need rest, play, connection, and meaning beyond productivity. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." You can apply this to self-optimization, the person constantly seeking the next upgrade, the next hack, the next level of performance. They're living in perpetual inadequacy. No achievement satisfies, because the goal isn't accomplishment. The goal is escaping the feeling that who you are right now isn't enough. Listen carefully. You cannot optimize your way out of being human. You cannot discipline your way out of having needs. You cannot punish yourself into worthiness. 4. Healthy ambition versus neurotic striving. So what's the actual difference between healthy ambition and neurotic striving? Healthy ambition says, I want to develop this skill because it interests me and aligns with how I want to live. Neurotic striving says, I must achieve this or I'm a failure. Healthy ambition allows for rest, mistakes, and changing your mind. Neurotic striving treats any pause as laziness and any pivot as giving up. Healthy ambition is internally motivated. You do it because it matters to you. Neurotic striving is externally validated. You do it to prove something to others or to yourself. Here's the critical distinction. Healthy ambition improves your life. Neurotic striving is an attempt to escape the feeling that your life isn't good enough. The Stoics understood this. Epictetus said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. That's radical permission to be imperfect, to not have it all figured out, to be human. What we know to be true at PsycheCraft is that wisdom isn't about optimizing yourself into someone else. It's about accepting who you are while consciously choosing meaningful action. Subscribe for more insights on self-awareness, emotional mastery, and living a balanced life.